The shift is already happening now. The kibbutz Be'eri, which is one of the kibbutzim that was struck hardest by the Hamas, members of that kibbutz, they are what we call in Israel the hard left, like the radical woke. That picture says, Zachor et asher asa lecha Amalek. Remember what Amalek did to you. And that kibbutz would never put a verse of the Bible at the entrance to their kibbutz. That kibbutz would never say such negative words to the Arabs that they are so committed to making peace with. They were the hard left peace camp in Gaza. And all of a sudden, at the entrance to their kibbutz, they're evoking biblical references, calling those Arabs that they so wanted to make peace with Amalek, which is what they are. What else do they need to do to tell us that they are evil? But you know, there was one woman, an elderly woman, that was a hostage that was released. And she told a story that the head of the Hamas visited the hostages where she was being held. And she looked at the head of the Hamas and she said, "Aren't you embarrassed that you did this to the people that wanted to make peace with you?" And they asked her, "What did he say?" And she said, "He just looked at me and he didn't say anything." Once, I guess, someone reaches a certain age, because I think she was in her 80s, it's hard for her to really change the way that she operates. But I wanted to ask her, you asked him if he was ashamed about what he did with the people that wanted to make peace with him. I wanted to ask you, aren't you ashamed that you wanted to make peace with that evil, that jihadist Nazi that did what he did to us? Why would you want to make peace with that? Aren't you ashamed? But that's an older generation. That's the generation of Egypt that, you know, they weren't able to go into the promised land. They weren't able to break out of their slave mentality. But the next generation that's rising up, it was the next generation in that kibbutz that hung up that sign, evoking that biblical verse, reminding themselves who they are and what our mission is. And Israel's mission is to banish the darkness